This is the Play Your Position podcast, where we huddle up, call the plays, and inspire you to run your ball into the end zone. Are you ready to score more game-winning touchdowns in your life, business, and career? Then listen up, because it's game time, baby. Now, here's your host, Mary Lou Kaiser.
Hello, Team PYP. Happy New Year, and welcome to the Play Your Position podcast. I'm your host, Mary Lou Kaiser, author of The River Only Runs One Way and The Far Unlit Unknown, 2 books available right now at your favorite online book retailer. Check them out and make them your companions on the next leg of your leadership journey as we kickstart another year. Before we get started, let me tell you about my upcoming workshop, Activate and Align, starting at the end of this month, January 2025. Early bird pricing is good through January 20th, so you've still got plenty of time to take advantage of that awesome deal. Seats are filling up fast, and you don't want to miss out on this transformative experience. It's going to be a fantastic workshop that will ensure you stick with the goals and dreams you're cooking up and not flame out in February the way so many people do. I designed this workshop for people like you who are committed to showing up to personal growth and becoming more self-aware so you can play a bigger game. That's what we're all about here at PYP. Click the link in the show notes for all the details, and that link is right underneath the episode on whatever device you're listening to. And I can't wait to see you in the cohort. It's going to be awesome. And one last thing before I jump into the content for today, if you could please press pause right now and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That really helps get the word out about the show, and I appreciate you for doing that. All right, team, if you're ready for kickoff, let's go. There comes a time in your life when you have to be Indiana Jones in that one scene from the Raiders of the Lost Ark where he confronts the man wielding a machete in the marketplace and blows him away with his pistol. I want you to recollect this scene if it's been a while. And if you've never watched the movie, I highly recommend it. It is a classic. It's one of Steven Spielberg's best works, and certainly Harrison Ford's. Now, this scene is violent, yes, but oh, so powerful on an archetypal level, and I am going to connect it to the content of today's episode. But a quick note before I go further, I am hypersensitive to the gun conversation that has been going on for quite some time, and I want to be clear, I do not advocate the use of guns for senseless acts of violence. Guns are weapons, and their only reason for existence is to kill something. That said, they have been a part of the collective culture for a few centuries now, and stories like Raiders of the Lost Ark are powerful teachers, which is why they continue to shape and influence the way people think and why they provide powerful examples for helping us understand ourselves better. Okay. Back to the content, public service announcement. I feel like I need to say that because, again, I'm super sensitive. And I think many of you listening are as well. Now, the connection I'm making between that particular scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark and where you are right now is this. At some point, you have to be willing to confront your old self, who is wielding their own form of a machete, threatening to take you down and drag you back to the old ways that weren't working well for you. When you do that, that allows you to move forward. One way of looking at that scene within the context of the narrative is that man in the marketplace represents the old Indy, the Indy before he ventured out to find the Ark, the Indy who played it safe as a professor, but harbored a big dream to find the Ark, but didn't do anything about it until the opportunity showed up. And that opportunity wasn't clean, and it wasn't perfect. It wasn't convenient. It meant completely shifting gears. It meant getting on a plane and traveling across the world. It meant finding Marion again, whose heart he broke, and he knew it, and he knew that encounter was going to be awkward and difficult, and she had something he needed, that medallion that she had around her neck from her father. That was one of the keys to unlocking the Ark of the Covenant. It's part of the quest. You cannot achieve anything big or new if you aren't willing to, one, answer the call to leadership in the first place. And as many of you know, that's usually not convenient. The call often comes at a time when you're going, wait a minute here. I was over here going this way, and now this is happening. But that's what typically happens. And I have over 500 episodes now that talks about that in one form or fashion in another, right? Number two, you cannot achieve anything big or new if you aren't willing to set out on the quest the call requires. And number three, you cannot achieve anything big or new if you aren't willing to blow away who you once were, because who you once were won't get you where you want to go. And it's the same for me. This is a universal principle, and it's one I've been talking about since I launched the show 11 years ago. And when I was talking about long before that, when I was in the classroom teaching writing and literature, and it's one I'll be talking about for the rest of my life because it's that important, and it's something I'm super passionate about. It's that important to recognize you are being called for something bigger than you are right now, and you're going to have to answer that call at some point. My experience has been that too many people either A, ignore the call, or B, push it away because being on autopilot, doing what you've been doing for years is easier. It's more comfortable. It's known, right? I mean, one of the reasons I named my book, The Far Unlit Unknown, is for this reason. In order to get what you want next, you have to step into the far unlit unknown. You have to be willing to trust that because you have decided to make that journey, to answer that call, things are going to align for you. You won't know how. There won't be a perfect blueprint. Indiana Jones certainly didn't have a perfect map that he followed. Okay, today you're going to go here and do this, and it's going to work out like that. That's not how this works. And then at some point, you're going to have to answer the next call, because the call to leadership and leadership itself is layered. The superficial layers are what you see all the time on social media. The deeper layers are what really good stories like The Raiders of the Lost Ark and classic pieces of literature and songs and operas and plays and musicals and paintings and any other form of creative expression, and certainly what my guests get into when I have conversations with them. This is the fuel of being human. And it's a new year. It's 2025. You probably have a list of goals for the year in your head, at least. Hopefully, you've written down these big dreams and goals somewhere in exquisite detail, not some general, lose weight, make more money, have better relationships. That's not going to get you anywhere. The more specific and personal you can describe your dreams and goals, the more likely you will see them through. And you've got to be aware of that machete-wielding enemy waiting for you in the marketplace of your life as you bust out onto the scene, as you enter the quest, as you answer that call to leadership. The writer Stephen Pressfield, he's one of my favorite writers, he refers to this enemy as resistance. And it is so easy to back down, to run the other way. Indiana Jones could have done that. He could have just turned and hightailed it out of there, hid in a basket again, but he didn't. On a side note, I recommend reading Stephen Pressfield's books to gain a deeper understanding of what this force means. I have all of them, and each one is a gem. And you come away from reading each one with a new insight about what this journey is, what this life that you are living means. And as for my message today, as you make your way toward achieving your dream, channel Indiana Jones in the marketplace scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark. You've got the tools to move forward, to let go of what hasn't worked in the past, and to shape your future the way you want and make those big dreams come to life. Don't be afraid to use them. I'm right here with you. I'm on your side. I'm cheering you on. So is every guest who sits down with me here at PYP. Together, we can achieve so much. Let's make this year your best year yet, all right? I'm committed to that. And a great place to start is joining me for the Activate and Align workshop. You can't beat the value, and early bird pricing is such a steal. Remember, the link is right there on the show notes page under the play button. And if you have any questions, reach out. Until next time, this is Mary Lou Kaiser. Thanks so much for listening. And remember, it is always a great day to get out there and play your position. Make it great, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Got a great key offensive strategy you like to share? Write to us at coach@pyppodcast.com or on Twitter, use #PYP and let us know how you're running your ball into the end zone for those game-winning touchdowns.